Welcome to Drunk on Social, the Symposium, where we help you stay ahead of social media trends, share the latest news, and highlight the strategies that are working to help you grow your business. Now let's join our hosts, Tristan and Jeff, in 3, 2, 1.
Drunk on Social, the Symposium. We are back. Episode number 6 of the podcast, and we are having so much fun that Tristan is currently, if you're not watching, if you're just listening, he's scouring the web for some extra content today, because as if we don't already have enough. And here's where we're going today. We're going to be talking about Clubhouse and how it has adjusted its platform to give influencers the ability to make money. That's sexy. We're going to talk about Hotline, which is Clubhouse's attempt to basically copy Clubhouse. It's not the only one.
Facebook.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Facebook's to copy Clubhouse. By the way, Reddit is doing the same thing. And also, we're going to talk about how Google is changing their search rankings, and that's coming in May. Oh, and by the way, Tristan mentioned he's got a few surprises for us. So, Tristan, let's go.
Let's go. We need a button that says "Let's go."
We need some, like the music that they do. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. We need that.
Dude, where's the button? Damn it.
Where do you want to start, buddy? Where do you want to start?
All right. I want to start with YouTube. I'm just going to throw that out of left field for you. All right.
That wasn't one on the list.
I wasn't even on the list, but I just thought about it. I'm like, remember when we brought up that stat that showed YouTube has 35 billion monthly visitors? Remember that? And I was thinking deeper on that because I've been reading a lot on the social side, and I'm thinking, well, the reason people keep on going back is because the content is so good. And the reason the content is so good is because the creators get paid the best out of all social media outlets. Like there is nobody better than YouTube at paying their creators, right? And I'm like, so that sets a really good example for other social platforms that want to consistently grow and remain relevant. They've got to pay out, and they've got to pay out well. So Clubhouse decided to join the group, and I thought, wow, this could be interesting, because how would they roll with this? And the way that it's working, from what I'm understanding, is that we can choose as we're listening in, we can choose to give, like, hey, I'm going to send Jeff $20, boom, right? Or eventually, I'm assuming they're going to be like, hey, if you want to listen to this one, you got to pay $1, you got to pay 50 cents, whatever. But I can send you money based on you doing a good job, right? Or based on me just saying, oh, good stuff, dude. Very similar to how YouTube has that membership that you have to pay for if you want to contribute and say, oh, great job, Jeff. Oh, you rock, Jeff, as you're going live, mm-hmm. Right? Because if we aren't paying that monthly $5, $6 membership, whatever it is, then we can't contribute, right? So I think they're going that way. And right now they're just barely starting with, hey, if you're doing a good job, well, we can have the consumer or the rest of the people listening in be able to pay you. And that's just the beginning. But what do you think of that whole thing, dude?
I got a question. What does it mean to do a good job?
Well, that's all relevant. That all falls on that's subjective, right? Like, if I think you're doing a good job, which I think you are, Jeff, by the way, good job. I would send you $20 on Clubhouse.
But like, is it amount of followers you have? Is it how many rooms you're hosting? Is it how many people come into your rooms?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's all really having to do with the quality of your content. That's it. And if you have good followers, like, dude, Jeff always brings the heat, always says good stuff, always brings the best people together, I'm going to send him $20, right? So that's how it's going to work. Look, this is how they explained it in the little paragraphs. This today, and that was, when was this? April 5th. It says, today we're thrilled to begin rolling out payments, our first monetization feature for creators on Clubhouse. You said our first, right? First.
Interesting.
All users will be able to send payments today, and we'll be rolling out the ability to receive payments in waves. Starting with a small test group today, our hope is to collect feedback, fine-tune the feature, and roll it out to everyone soon. So that's phase one. I bet you they eventually grow into what I'm telling you with YouTube is now, depending on how many people show up to your Clubhouse, just like they show up live, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people show up, how many people engage, how long they stay, right? That all can come into play. And who knows, dude, maybe they start adding ads in between as well. Like when the Clubhouse pops up, this one could be sponsored by whoever, right? And you're getting a piece of that as the creator,
yeah.
right? Or the host. So this is pretty cool, man. But they have the right idea behind it. Such an early stage company, only a year in, about, right? A year. And they're already going that route. That shows that they get it, because that's the reason YouTube is so massive, because they pay so well.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm thinking somebody else might be thinking this, and I'm thinking about, like, so the way you describe that is okay. Well, I like following Tristan, so I'm going to send him $20. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I might love Gary Vee, but I'm not going to just send him $20 because he's got plenty of $20. He doesn't need $20 from me. And here's why I ask this, because this is how TikTok works too. Like you go onto TikTok and people go live and they're sending them these badges, right? That you're paying for. It's the same thing, Facebook rolled this out, but I don't get it. Like why, just because I'm so in love with you?
You know what, Jeff? You know what? I feel the same way, but I think it's just because we're old. That's it, dude. That's all. Because my son's like, ooh, Dad, can I just send him stuff? I'm like, no, you can't. That's stupid.
Okay, so here's what I want. Some listener, if you understand this, would you go into Drunk on Social's Facebook page and post and explain this to us? Or you know what? Send us a DM. Send me a DM on any platform. If you're connected to me, if you got my cell phone number, text me. I want to know why. And you know what? If you're open to it, if you actually know what you're talking about, I want to bring you live into Drunk on Social. I want to talk about it because I don't get it.
You know what it is, dude?
I want something tangible. Like if I'm paying for coaching, I'll pay you like D-Rock, right? I'll write you a check to give me advice, but not just to listen to you ramble.
Yeah, and that may be part of their, remember they said first phase. This is first phase, right? So that means that what if the second phase looks more like the membership side of YouTube, where I'm paying $6 a month. Now, because I'm paying that, not only am I able to go in and listen in for free, right? Like normal, but now I can be called up and now I can engage with you and talk.
That makes sense.
Right?
Okay, I'm paying to go up on stage. I'm paying to ask a question.
That's where they're heading, right? This is phase one, but I think they're taking a big giant page out of YouTube because, damn, dude, they're the number one social media outlet in the world, and they're way ahead by billions. So they're doing it right. They're doing it right.
Well, I tell you what, this made me think of, Aubrey, make a note of this. You're keeping track of some future notes for Drunk on Social. Make a note that we need to build in probably a weekly or bi-weekly Drunk on Social Clubhouse room where we basically do the same thing we're doing here, but it's just an open forum to ask questions, because that could be a way for monetization. I mean, I'm a capitalist.
I actually like doing this one. You're right. We could totally do this on Clubhouse. I love that, man. All right, so
moving on.
Let's go into Google. So Google's about to change the way their algorithm works on Google, right? 92 billion people a month, a billion visitors a month, right? I love having these stats, by the way, and I'm glad we brought them up earlier because it's so easy to just be like, hey, Google, 92, Facebook, 24, right? All right. They're basically changing 5 things. And these are the 5 things you need to be looking out for. One of my friends, David Tam, who you know, right? He's creating like this artificial intelligence, search engine optimization type stuff, next level type good stuff. And he's saying, these are the 5 things we need to watch out for. And I took notes of these so I wouldn't screw this up, Jeff. So here are the 5 things he said that we need to watch out for. Number 1, they're changing this mobile friendliness. Now, whether your site has issues with mobile friendly design as flagged by Google. So Google's going to say, hey, you know what? This is good. The experience on mobile is easy. Or, damn, this really sucks. We're going to downgrade you now. And your SEO is going to suck even more. We're not even going to bother with it. So that's going to be very important. Is it mobile friendly? Like, it's going to matter even more, right? Number 2, core web vitals. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Can you at least give me something, right? He's like, well, these are the new set of 3 performance metrics that focus on how performance connects to user experience. And here are the 3. It's largest contentful paint, and you can Google that up. It's LCP. Cumulative layout shift, CLS, and first input delay, FID. In essence, it's saying, all right, when I type in your website, Jeff, and you populate, how fast does everything on there populate, including video, the little chat box, the pictures all throughout, the clickable links? How fast is that? And I don't know if you noticed, but you and I are part of the secret community that we're part of, right? FOMO, secret community. If you're not in it, I'm sorry.
You didn't hear that. It's a secret.
I sent over a snapshot of the website that got an F, right? And it got an F because it took like 45 seconds to fully load. And that's one of my search engines for my IDXs for property, right? And the other one, it got an A because it loaded really quick, right? But remember, that's only one of the 5 things that they're looking for, right? So core web vitals, really, really, really important. Number 3, safe browsing. So it says whether your site has any malware issues, harmful downloads, deceptive content, phishing, or other similar issues that Google flags as possibly dangerous. That's number 3. They're pretty easy, right? Number 4 is even easier than that. HTTPS usage. So whether your site has an SSL certificate and uses HTTPS instead of HTTP, right? That's all. So that they're going to consider that as one of the 5 vital things. And number 5, they say no intrusive dude, I don't even know how to pronounce this. I'm just going to skip it. It just says whether your site displays intrusive pop-ups. So the pop-ups. There's another word for pop-ups that I can't even pronounce because it's too techy, even for me. It just says, look, if you've got crappy pop-ups that are making the experience terrible, well, guess what? We're going to downgrade your SEO ranking because of it. So stop it with that crap. So those are the 5, man. Pretty crazy, right?
Okay, so I don't think I'm the only one listening to this, and I'm listening to it in live real time, that just looked at you like you were speaking a different language. And so here's my question for you, because I like what you did, because you couldn't even pronounce words that you're reading, which
dude, I couldn't even. That's why I asked David Tam to send it to me.
That's ridiculous. First of all, Google's not making it very user-friendly by doing that, because it's going to scare people away just when they can't comprehend what they're reading, and they're reading in their own language. Number 1. Number 2, like, what does this mean for the average person? Like,
look, good question. 2 things. They're trying to make their websites safer, and they're trying to make them easier to surf through by the user. That's it. So if it loads faster, if there's less crap on it, and if it's safe, your SEO ranking is going to go up. obviously if there's good content on there.
What should a sales professional or a company do to ensure that efficiency, that
I would start on a simple site called developers.google.com. And there you look at page speed. Just type in your website and check the speed on there and see what the ranking is from Google. And Google will directly tell you, hey, you suck. You need to change these things to get better. Or it'll be like, hey, these are really good. And look, if you don't know where that is, just type in Page Speed Insights by Google.
Say that one more time.
So type in Page Speed Insights by Google, and it's going to be the first choice at the very top. It's going to be developer.
Put it into a Google search.
Put it into a Google search, Page Speed Insights by Google. And the very first one at the top, you'll see developers.google.com, speed, insights, all that. Click on that. Then it's going to say, okay, it's a simple page. It says enter a web page URL. Enter it there and see what you're scored. Now, sometimes it takes like a minute to load that because it's going through and crawling through your whole site. Sometimes it's like 10 seconds. So that's how I would.
And what if I'm using Bing or Yahoo?
It's interesting with Yahoo, you have the older generation still using it. You have a lot of people still with their Yahoo accounts, right? And I don't know if you remember, but dude, do you remember when we did the top most visited websites in the world?
Yep.
You remember that whole thing? I was really surprised to find Yahoo on there. And I mean, hold on, let me see here.
That was episode 2, I think. So if you missed that one, go back and check that out.
Yeah, check out. Look, Yahoo for Japan is number 18, which is nuts to me, right? And Bing is not on there, but you have to think about who uses Bing, which was interesting because I have a few friends that are in the military and they cannot use anything outside of the native browsers that come installed with their laptops or their PCs, right? And when you buy Microsoft, what does it come installed with, right?
Dang.
That's all they can use. And so anytime they go and search for things and they're searching for let's say they're searching for a house for sale, they're going to find you on Bing, which is nuts. Higher quality type leads, right? So very, very.
I think a lot of people listening are like, what the hell's Bing?
Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, there's Bing Crosby, but that's one of my favorite old time singers.
Classic Christmas movie.
Dude, I mean, White Christmas.
I just can't get past largest contentful paint.
Dude, I don't even know what that means, but we're here to report the news for social.
Hell?
I just don't even know what the hell that means.
All right. Now that I officially feel dumber, can we talk about something that makes me feel warmer and fuzzier again?
I don't know if we announced this last time, so it may be repetitive, but let's go into TikTok. And
I won't take offense to that. Go on.
No, seriously. TikTok was the #1 most downloaded app in the first quarter of 2021. Did we bring that up last time?
I think so. We might have. I'm not sure.
Well, if we did, too bad. If we didn't, there you go. And I also wanted to say that TikTok launched a new video editor to help brands create more like native looking TikTok clips, which I thought was brilliant because why? Their editor is already insane, dude. It's like I go there just to edit videos and just send them to people because they're that good.
Yeah.
I don't even post it to TikTok. I just save it in the drafts.
Yes, totally agree. Yeah. And actually the one thing too, that I'm really excited that I can only tease right now though, is we have a good friend of ours who's a hell of a realtor, who's a hell of a video guy, who's built a really big business, who just got his first, and it's a dual agent deal. And the buyer came to him from TikTok, and we're not going to say anything more about it or who it is because I don't want to jinx it because it hasn't sold yet. And it's I think it was a several month deal, but man, dude, when that happens and this particular gentleman shares this, you know how many agents, you know how many people are going to say like, damn, seriously?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just all it takes is one or two success stories, and everybody's going to be like, why didn't I do this sooner? So if you're listening to this, it probably hasn't happened yet. You still have time. You still have time.
Dude, I'm excited. One of the cool things about the editing feature that's coming, and it's being released throughout, so it may not be on all of your devices yet, but is the ability once you've edited the full video to be able to toggle a little button on the bottom right that shows how it looks when it's running on TikTok. Because even dude, I do some TikTok videos here and there. After I put them out, I think it doesn't get blocked by what TikTok pops up out there after, but sometimes it gets blocked. So by pressing this little button, it'll show you where everything is, like if it's fully running.
You know, by the way, while we're talking about it, there actually is a way for you to toggle. If you toggle an image or text over to that area where the stuff shows up, it'll actually be very faint there and you can see where it would be. But a lot of people don't know that. And maybe a lot of listeners may not even know what the hell we're talking about. But for those that do, there is a way to do that.
That's true.
Because a lot of people, like when you create a video where you're asking for people to follow you, you want to like have a shining arrow beacon at your profile. But if you're not pointing the arrow at the right spot, it's going to look really stupid. So yeah, it's also
which has happened to me.
it's a fun fact. Yeah. So you can make sure you have it right. But when you have this feature, gosh, that's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good, dude. All right, next, Facebook. I'm done with TikTok unless you've got something good.
Go.
All right, Facebook. You saw last week they announced that they had 500 million emails hacked, but it happened like 2019. And they just released it. I'm sure they found out earlier, but that happened, which means, I mean, what does it mean? It means that everybody's gonna get hacked. Just make sure to change your password every This is why I use LastPass, man. And this is not a sponsorship for LastPass,
Maybe it should be.
but I use LastPass because I can use a different email, a different password for every single thing, so that as soon as I hear something like this happens, I'm like, oh, password change, and it only affects one. That the worst thing you can do is have the same password for everything or for like 10, 20 things. That's bad. So that's just to tell you that's bad. All right. Facebook also recently announced, which I posted it up on our group, that they have this little up down arrow. Like if I really like your comment, Jeff, on my post, I'm like, oh, Jeff, dude, you are right on. I'm going to click a little arrow up and it's going to promote it up. Now, like if Alberry comes in and she says, you know what? Jeff's comment was badass too.
Yes.
You're going to click on the little arrow and push it up. Now they're working more like Reddit, so that if you agree with a comment, because it's the best comment so far, right? It's going to continue to push it up and it's going to be prominent at the very top so that people don't have to dig through the best answer on posts. And I thought that was cool. Dude.
That's phenomenal. That's really cool. I think that's something that if and when you get that, you should be using it. It goes back to the old adage of I just created a video today that I'll be posting next on TikTok, by the way, which is it's not a matter of how many followers you have. It's what you do with the followers that you do have. And that plays into that so much. Like it's not about the vanity. It's about engaging with your audience and commenting on every comment and responding to every comment and then showing love to those. This is perfect, right? You have an awesome comment. I'm going to pop you to the top. I wonder if it shows on their end. Do you know?
Yeah, man. I don't know, but I haven't seen it outside of the follow-up boss community that I run. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I don't even think we have it on Drunk on Social. Do we? I haven't checked.
What?
The
I don't think so. No.
Up, down arrow? Okay.
I don't think so. No, I haven't noticed it. And I engaged a hell of a lot in there. So I haven't noticed it. Where is it? Like when you're in there?
Let me bring you into the follow-up. Ask to join the follow-up boss community and I'll show you. It's immediately there. You can see it on every single comment. You can choose to up arrow or down arrow it. So I'll bring you on there. That's how I found out about it.
Right on.
All right, next thing on Facebook. This is kind of cool or kind of sucky, whatever you want to call it. But Facebook launched to test their new Clubhouse-like app. And what was the name of it? I sent it to you the other day. What's it called?
Hotline.
Dude, the name sounds really weird. Hotline. I don't know if I like it. What do you think of it?
The name or the actual?
The name.
It sounds like like telephone. It sounds like from the 1980s.
And if you want to jump in, it's Hotline, just like it sounds, .co. And if you want to beta test it, they're going to ask you to join in with your Twitter account. And I'm doing it right now because I couldn't do it on my phone last time. So I'm going to verify my phone number.
Well, Aubrey says it reminds her of OnlyFans, which makes me question where Aubrey spends her time. And actually, I think I just gained a newfound respect for you, Aubrey. Number one. Number two, it reminds me of those shows back in the like 80s and 90s, like those when you would call, like there was like a row, like several rows of people answering phones, and you were calling in to donate money to a cause. Do you remember that? That's our generation.
Dude, that's like is that like Jerry Lewis?
So like that, yeah, something like that. Correct. So
I'm trying to host a show right now on Facebook Hotline. That's so interesting. It actually let me in.
Well, we just totally aged ourselves, and Aubrey aged herself. We're thinking about, Jerry Lewis, and she's thinking about OnlyFans. What does that tell you?
Dude, what should I name my show on Hotline? I'm going to call it Tristan's Show just for fun.
Tristan's OnlyFans, and you're going to get all kinds.
Doing it right now. Let's see. What time is it?
It's about time to wrap up.
All right. Well, I got one more.
All right, go.
This goes along the lines of the creator aspect of things. And I really strongly feel like social media companies that pick up some steam, like Clubhouse, that continue to grow, they're going to have legs if they open up a creator fund that's really strong, right? That's where I would use a lot of our money. If, let's say, I'm TikTok, that's where I would use more money, because, dude, I've seen some of the funds that come through from the creator fund, and I'm like, I can buy maybe an ice cream,
a Big Mac, yeah,
maybe. And Pinterest just announced their creator fund to support their creator, and I thought that's kind of cool, man. I don't know how the hell that's going to work, because I honestly don't use Pinterest that much, but I know it's massive. So are you using Pinterest?
No. And I think, our good friend Howard Tager always says it's coming, like Pinterest will be relevant. And if you know Howard Tager, who's one of the founders of Ylopo, he's a brilliant individual. It tells me that maybe I should be paying attention at some point. And my wife does, she does pin. I think it's more of a common thing. And my guess is it's probably 75 to 80% female, which is probably a good thing and a reason why you want to be there.
Yeah.
It's probably the same with OnlyFans, 75 to 80% female.
That's true, man. That's true.
Sorry, Aubrey, you started it. Aubrey started it.
There's also Patreon, right? So, that's kind of like, it's like the professional option to OnlyFans.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know the professional. I only know the unprofessional one.
Well, I think we'll end the show with Jeff. What is your OnlyFans page?
Oh man, if I was on there, it might shut the entire thing down.
I don't think we'd have a podcast if you were on there.
No, probably not. Yeah. Well, I'd probably be a starving artist.
Anyways, I just submitted my show. I just submitted my show called Tristan's Show for Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific.
What are you really going to do with that?
On Hotline.
You have time for that.
Dude, I just put it on to see if they accept it. If they do, I'll invite you.
All right.
I don't even know how it's going to roll, but it's on Facebook.
I'm in.
Hotline.
Amen.
We'll see.
Well, this is good. I mean, and I tell you what, if anybody, I already asked for some feedback on this one, so don't forget about that. If you have any, please send us a DM. Also, don't forget, so this podcast right now, we kicked it off piggybacking on Lab Code Agents. So a lot of you are familiar with that, but it's not going to stay that way. In fact, if you're listening to this, we're probably already off. And so if we are, you might already know. So go find us. We're going to be on our own podcast channel on all of the channels that exist. Remember, go subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And you know what? Don't keep us a secret. We appreciate you sharing. It's going to help drive us to continue to evolve and grow and get better. But also, leave us a review. Those are very helpful on the podcast app. So please go let us know what you think. Only good is welcome. I was going to say good or bad, but bad's not welcome. Actually, only leave a good review. If you only have bad things to say, like my mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So we appreciate you. We enjoy this. If you hadn't noticed, this is fun. And today's episode was way over my head. I hope some of you, it wasn't for you, but it just reminds me that even though I think I'm a social media savvy, I'm still just a peon in the world of Google. And that's the truth, but it tells you that there's so much opportunity and so much growth. And that's why we're here. So Tristan, with that, it's been fun, my friend.
Dude, always fun. I always love these.
Until next week, I bid you adieu.
Thanks for listening to Drunk on Social, the Symposium. We are here to help you take your business to new levels through social media. Make sure to subscribe to get updates on new episodes and come join us on our Drunk on Social Facebook page. And as always, make sure you leave us a great review on your favorite podcast app. Feedback and likes are very much appreciated.